What is something you know but you're not supposed to know? That my not married to my dad mother enjoys threesomes. She's not the most tech savvy person in the world and accidentally posted a threesome request publicly on Facebook. Grandma liked your post, that's my girl. Just like her father, well, one of them. That my mother slept with several of the men in the neighborhood during the time my dad was very ill and literally dying. I'm sorry man, why'd you do it? Relevant XKCD. I'm about to graduate college. My parents were teasing me about setting me up on a date with a guy with black hair whose name starts with an M. I was irritated and kept asking for more details but wasn't given any. Yesterday, I was social media stalking one of my cousins and saw she posted a video of a cute black puppy named Max of the breed my dog growing up was that passed away while I was at college. I had been planning on getting one later this year, after thinking a while about why my cousin would get a dog exactly like the one I really wanted. I remembered what my parents said about setting me up with a guy with black hair and a name starting with M. I went back to the video and sure enough, it was recorded in my parents' living room. Guys, I'm pretty sure I'm getting a puppy next weekend. I actually feel really guilty for finding out. A family member is HIV positive. Doesn't want rest of family to know. When he broke down and told my mom, I overheard. She has passed and he has no idea I know. I was accidentally given access to all salaries for a large hospital. Finding out some doctors made 80k and others 800k was pretty eye-opening. Wow, 80k is insulting for a doctor. I know you shouldn't compare yourself to other people but I would have a problem if that were me making 80k. My great-grandparents were also brother and sister. I don't want to believe it but I totally do. My mom told me of a couple in her hometown who later found out they were siblings. They had somehow been separated at a very young age during WW2 and met again when they were older, not knowing they were siblings. Somehow it was figured out after they'd had a few kids. My supervisor is really close to getting fired. Upper management isn't supposed to talk about it, but they do. Probably because we'd all quit if we thought she was staying. She sucks. A lady at my work, who everyone hates, was caught stealing company money. After literal years of suspicion, the news hasn't gone public at work yet, but I know she'll be fired soon. I'm a numbers guy who is good friends with HR people. Take paper, take pads and take pencils. Take two. Take notebooks or post-its or folders. A few. For pens can be pilfered or harmlessly plucked, but if you take money, my honey you're fucked. That my mom tried to have CPS take my daughter from me when she was born by claiming I used drugs while I was pregnant. I was 9 years clean. She tried again when I was diagnosed with cancer. You would be amazed to see what doctors actually put in your medical records. When I got cancer I ended up with my full medical records when they were transferring them from one hospital to another. I guess it never occurred to me that there were written records that I had never gotten to see. They write some weird and specific stuff in there, like verbatim everything I had ever said to a doctor, including what type of pizza I'd had for dinner. That my ex is adopted. When we were long distance I used to call her phone directly using Skype for free from another country. One time her mom video called her laptop in the middle of our conversation to check up on her and stuff. My ex went to the bathroom and I heard the mom's mom ask her when she was gonna tell her she was adopted. My mom long-term replaced my dad's cancer pain pills with Tylenol to fuel her drug problem. I didn't discover this till after he died and just 2 months later she died from overdose. My dad has been growing some apparently fantastic weed for over 50 years now. That's how he made car payments when he was unemployed for a few years, even though he could have worked but didn't. He's got a lot of nice things that are above his employment level. Didn't register one until mom told us who used to be her supplier when she was in her hippie days. Last I checked, years ago, he had the trust of numerous private landowners and the keys to the gates. They let him build and maintain feed plots for deer and turkey, so he can have his own private hunting land and be out on his own. But I'm pretty sure I know how he pays and is paid now. Real country, this place. Fenced off gates to roads you have to go on foot through thick foliage to get around the gate that's blocking the only road in. Good 10 miles from the nearest police station. Some of those plots, as close as he is to the sheriff. I'm pretty sure he gets passes from the law for various reasons. My dad This boring loner who's never been in trouble in his life. A real square who married a free love hippie. A weed outlaw. How my parents met. Mom was a stripper and dad just happened to go there. How I Met Your Mother spin-off with Barney and Quinn. The restaurant I worked at had some pretty solid sweet potato fries. They come frozen in a bag. Everyone thinks we make it in-house. Funny story, when my dad had a stroke and I went to see him at the hospital, the first thing he said was, "Please just throw my computer out if I die." He's better now. Sounds like that wasn't his first stroke. Nice. HR once sent me a list of wages for everyone in my department right up to the VP. It included my boss, my boss's boss, etc. At first glance, it looked harmless, but they had only filtered the list by job title so I wouldn't see anyone above me. I told my boss, and I'm pretty sure the person who sent it just gotta do Excel better next time talk. That in 3 weeks, a BuzzFeed article is going to pop up in my newsfeed. 24 people share the secret they weren't supposed to find out. My dad had cancer. The family thought I didn't need to know that since I was in college. My mom had a child out of wedlock and gave him up for adoption. This was the early 70s. Just found out from my mom. My boyfriend's mom used to service all the men at a local fire department, unmarried or married. Some of the men even got in trouble and were suspended. Your boyfriend's mom is a badge bunny. Service is an interesting choice of word. 2 things. 1. My dad watches porn while myself or other family members, but not mom, are literally a few feet away. He thinks he's good at hiding it, but has sometimes literally pointed the screen partially my way so I can see it, without realizing. The couches we sit on are next to each other but at different angles. Think an L shape. And hurriedly closes his tablet when someone enters the room. Not exactly subtle dad. Also know what kind he's into cause he never used to delete his history on the old family computer, and I once had to help him download an app on his tablet. Typed in one letter into the search bar and up came a URL that I hastily pretended I didn't see. Creeps me the hell out. 2. How dangerously close my parents were / are to divorcing. Overheard them talking in the living room one night, my bedroom's downstairs, about how my mum apparently set up a different bank account without my dad's knowledge, how my dad won't be intimate with her anymore cause now he knows she doesn't want / like it. I was devastated back then. Now, I kinda wish it will happen just cause of how damaged their marriage actually is. For Christmas my stepmom bought my dad a pretty cool custom sports jersey with the number 4. When my fiance asked her what the number stood for, her reply was, "To represent our family, my 2 daughters, him and myself," completely leaving me out of the equation. Mom and dad always have sex 3 times a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday 7 PM or after work. That my mom and I make the same sounds when we climax. I really need to move out. And my parents really need to learn to close doors. Oh my word. I'm so sorry. I did laugh though. My dad and I both sneeze the same and make small talk about the weather. Yours is more interesting though. Maybe the not closing doors is a hint about moving out. That my superior officer, who's a massive dick, is cheating on his wife of I think 15 years with the female patrol sergeant in our police department. I could literally ruin his life if I wanted to. Everyone basically hates him anyway, but still I haven't built up the nerve to face him. But if he's being a dick I might tell him that I know that'll shut him up for a bit. If you plan on doing anything with this information, do so through the correct channels. Personal confrontation is too dangerous with life-ending shit like this. I know what's in my mum's will. My brother gets almost everything. 90%. I once kinda confronted her without letting on that I knew I was going to get that much less than him, and she said she would give him a larger share because he was weaker and not educated. Whereas since I'm educated, I was going to be fine even if I got nothing. I accepted it and moved on. Nothing is worth my family man. My grandfather was self-made, gave my father nothing but an education. He gave the rest land and cows, and within less than a decade they were all destitute and begging from my dad. My father is self-made and he's given me an education. I will be self-made too. It seems like a blessing in disguise. Best of luck to you. Just found out recently that my Gma, who I have taken care of for the last 7 years, doesn't want me to have a dime of the $100,000 life insurance policy she has, even though she would have been on the streets without me. Feels great. My sister was trying to flirt with this guy at a bar but then lost him in the crowd. She went to the bar to have a drink and see if he'd come back. This other guy walked up and she chatted with him to have a reason to stay and look for the other guy. She shrugged and thought, he'll do I guess. They just got back from their honeymoon. You have been visited by the sauce chihuahua. You will be blessed with good pasta, but only if you comment simmer well papa. PG! On top, food chain won't stop. New game, hot box that blue haze. One lock, 2 chains, no bras, 2 babes. Mic drop, new stage, lights in my rear view. 5 crops, full race, faster than a Tesla. They say I'm exhausted, looking for success, like I'm crazy and lost it. Higher than a jet, guess my weed is a rocket. The comments that my vids get are wild.